Well, you
That was a long journey.
Yes, yes, I can understand why when I ask you what shape, and of course, the question was an initiative to open up the floor to what has shaped you, which is a fascinating tapestry. I would call it a tapestry because so many threads, so many colors, so many textures, so many experiences. And also, it's like when we go to a tapestry workshop, so many other parts or even women weaving through because you were shaped by your grandmother, a 93-year-old woman. And I'm sorry that she passed away, but she left a marvelous legacy in
Oh,
you.
you know what? I love that you picked that up because I think there is a long line of strong women in my family. It's
Mm.
my grandma, but also my great. I still remember meeting my great grandmother who also passed away past 90s,
Oh.
and my mom, she's past 70. She's still working as a doctor. And when I went to Denmark on that exchange, my host mom, my Danish host mom, Ruth, had a great influence on me, and Fran, and just all these women that were part of my life along the
Mhm.
way. Different, very different women
Yeah,
from very different backgrounds, different ways of seeing the world, but all very, I would say the common thread is women who were and are committed to making a difference. I think that's the thread of all these women that have influenced me and who I am now.
and it's beautiful. It's beautiful to hear and to get to know these because I'll say it, 60 years old, your grandma took you to Paris. And what you are saying about going also to Israel, seeing Muslim women for the first time, and seeing dark-skinned people, migrants from Africa into Europe, going to Europe, which is a mecca for those of us. And well, we come from South America, so it's a smaller continent that has been kind of very sheltered in many areas because we never had to confront war, and therefore the migration came specifically in Venezuela after the 50s and 60s with the progress and the development of oil. But I can see the richness of your life and what you bring to the table. And I would say when you mention about your host moms, it takes a village to raise a child. And
Mm.
you were also, absorbing those elements from the strong women in your family, and also those women in Denmark, different background and values and traditions, and so on. And now this is all packed in you.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's so interesting because I also, every time, I think about all the theory I work with, or when I study my master's and I
Mhm.
still work with, I read journals and stuff, all the time I keep going back to little moments that I go, oh, this is what was happening, is happening to me back then, right? So all the time it's like I'm making sense of experiences that I had a very formative time in my life, right? And I always joke that my dad came to visit me to Denmark when I was there. And during dinner, he whispers to me and says, "Hey, did these people get a number?" And I'm like, "What? Did these people get a number to speak?" And I'm like, so I just laugh. So he was just amazed that no one interrupted anyone, that there was like this magical sequence of people taking turns to speak as if they had allocated numbers, right? That's what he could see. And it's interesting because later on, I'm studying different communication styles across cultures. And when I learn about, so Latin cultures, we are polychronic, we have multiple conversations and topics at the same time. You know, Northern Europeans are monochronic, and they're very linear in their communication, they're turn takers, all these things that now I study way later on in life. it's like I'm connecting them back to all these moments, these nuggets that of memory that I have that I was learning about without knowing actually these things have names. People have studied this.
What do you think that is? Because sometimes in the past, and I want to divert just slightly,
So I
I,
can
I,
diverge very
I,
easily.
re I remember hearing that the difference between Anglo-Saxon cultures or countries that were colonized by England and so on, and the difference in development of countries that were colonized by Spain. So, is there a thread here, or is there a commonality? Is there something that you have noticed? One topic, one conversation with, Anglo-Saxons or what you mentioned before in Europeans, and then we have to shout to be heard
Look, I think that yes,
in
there is a
Latin
lot of
America.